Howdy, folks, my name is Rees. Welcome back to another episode of our Sky Factory 4 Let's Play Adventure. Hope that every single one of you out there in the world is doing great today. I was just talking to a Meka, and she said, did you see the new guy? Apparently, we've got a new guy. Also, Lucky Lou's been a bit busy building. Hey, Haley Kits, how are you today? Someone new has arrived? So I have heard. Lucky Lou, can you tell me something about this? I think that Niv will be handling security now. Ah, of course, Niv has joined us, presumably outside. Is that him? You can never be too sure, because we've got these guys, which are the patron supporters, but then also there's just other random Minecraft YouTubers wandering around that want to kill me. This is Niv, though, and he looks really cool. He's got like an eye patch and some sort of breathing apparatus and a diamond sword. How are you, Niv? Hello, Rees Crafts. Lucky Lou said you could use help with monsters, so here I am. I could. You've got no idea. Oh my gosh. Oh, good. Oh, they've all done that, of course. Well, if you plant these on, not sand, but snad, you can use a lever to make them grow really quickly, but I guess left alone, oh, the cacti will just grow really big by themselves. Alright, no, look, I dig it. It looks great. So, this is what Lucky Lou's been doing. Impressive, I guess, you know, if you're into that sort of thing. But look what I did while he was doing that. I got a few more pieces of dirt, and I got our clay tree here planted and growing. Oh, this is gravel. I guess this one down here is clay, isn't it? Yeah, we got our clay sapling, and we're pretty much set to go today. I said last time, and I'm sticking with it, I want to clear this next chunk here, and at least get over to iron if we can today. That would be really good, depends on how long it takes us. But the first thing up is going to be growing our clay tree and getting some clay. So if we take a look at clay, it's not really all that big of a challenge to get a hold of. You just need the clay resin and the clay acorns. And if we've learned anything from past experience, that just means growing this sapling, cutting it down, and then doing that in sort of endless repetition until we have enough of the materials. So we got a bit of resin, a bit of acorn. This seems like a perfect time to do a, let's see, what do we want to do? Do we want to do a hard cut, or do we want to do a wipe? Let's do a clock wipe. All right, I think we have enough to get started with, so that'll make us 6 full clay blocks, which we can then break down into individual clay, and we can then use that to create an unfired clay bucket. We're going to make a couple of those. We're going to need one for water and then one for lava, and of course, once we use it for lava, we're not going to be getting it back. I think one thing we need to do is create some charcoal, because we don't have access to coal yet, although that is on our list of things to acquire. Right down here, we'll be able to get a coal sapling. Yep, I'm not even kidding, that is a real thing. But for right now, we can get some charcoal, turn that into charcoal pieces, and did not mean to do that. Definitely don't put your advancement book into the crushing tub. That would be a bad call. There we go. We'll keep that smelting up. And then, you know what? I think we have some... yeah, let's just mine up some stone. I was going to say, do I need to go cut down some petrified trees and do this properly? But no, you know what? Sky Factory 4, one of its great features is the many varied world options. And we just happen to choose one that has a whole lot of cobblestone at our disposal. And I think we'd be fools not to... take advantage of that. So we'll get enough to create a second furnace, and if we wanted to, we could split that furnace into 2 smaller furnaces, and I think we will. But again, remember, you can only put half stacks in these, so we'll stack them on top of one another, and they are not textured. I probably need to check and make sure my Sky Factory 4 texture pack is up to date, because I haven't updated it in a while. They might have a new version out, but once again, we will make ourselves some charcoal pieces, and we will throw those in there along with our unfired clay buckets. While those are cooking up, let's take a look at what we need to do next. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Craft any cauldron to catch rainwater, create lava, dry items, and a bunch of other uses. And it does have some uses. We'll be using one of these in the future to transform certain saplings into other saplings. So a cauldron is very useful. The recipe for it, do you think I can do this from memory? Oh, well, I did. Okay, there we go. Oak cauldron, everyone. It shouldn't be that impressive, but I'm always slightly impressed with myself if I remember a recipe, because I'm notoriously bad at it. Let's take a full piece of charcoal. I'm not sure why those aren't stacking in the furnace. Have you noticed that? It'll make one and then it'll just stop. That's odd. I mean, charcoal stacks, but, you know, it's not an issue for us to figure out right now. For right now, we need to make ourselves a torch, and if we put that under there, we should be able to get ourselves some lava. And if we take a look, in fact, at lava, create lava by using right-click on a cauldron while holding cobble. Collect it in a clay or regular bucket to melt cobblestone. You need to have a torch. Blah, 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 blah. Get the general idea. We do have some cobblestone, so we'll right-click that into there. And we've got some lava. We're going to need a bit more cobblestone, though. Can we vein mine cobblestone? Yes. Oh. Oh. Oh? Okay. There's glowstone. There's sounds. There's possibly monsters down there. Let's not find out what this is about right now. You might want to go. You might want to go check that out for me. It's a bit suspect. Oh my good gosh! I think our cauldron burnt down. Okay. What are our other cauldron options? Yeah, there is a cobblestone cauldron. Maybe we should have gone with that one, considering we're making a boiling hot liquid. That might make more sense. Okay, there we go. And inside of that, we will put cobblestone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be the maximum, I think. And our clay buckets should be ready to go, so we can get a little bit out of there. And then next up, we need water, which means either collecting rainwater or there is another way. I'm going to create another cauldron. I'm going to create a regular cauldron. Wait a minute, you don't use a cauldron, do you? Don't you just do it in a crushing tub? Collect rainwater in a cauldron, or by jumping on a sapling in a crushing tub. Let's do that instead. Now, this one is full of sap, and we could get rid of all that sap by right-clicking with an empty hand, but we might need that sap later for something else. So let's just make an additional crushing tub. It's not a particularly challenging recipe. We have everything we need for it in our inventory at the moment. And that way we'll have one for objects that will excrete water, and one for objects that will excrete sap. And then something we have an abundance of is, oh, we got a lot of dirt saplings. I guess that will work. Let's not put them all in there, though. Let's see what we can get with just one. Water. Not enough, though. Not enough to fill up our bucket. I would say it's probably going to take, what do you think, 8? Let's put some in there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still not enough. Maybe 10? I don't know. I don't know if there's more or less water content depending on what type of sapling you use. That's 10. There we go. 4 bucket. Full bucket there, Niv. We're doing excellent. So that's another objective completed up here at the top. Now this is the reason you want to have a bucket with lava and water. That's so you can create the Cobblestone Generator. It automatically produces cobblestone and deposits them to a storage device that you place above it. So if you put a chest on top of it, it'll automatically generate the cobblestone, put it in there. Once you get access to better materials, you can upgrade them all the way up to, I believe, the tier 5 right here with the emeralds is the fastest, and it is really fast. It's a bit useless for us because we are standing on an endless expanse of cobblestone, but if you're playing in a more traditional skyblock, this thing is extremely useful and really easy to build. The only thing we're missing right now is a bit of glass, but I can have that made up in no time. This is starting to get weird. Can I put the charcoal in here? Will that keep generating it, or is it going to stop after 1 again? Why is it doing that? If you know the answer to these questions, please comment down below. Wow! But why? Why, though? Whatever. I don't care. Whatever you want to do, I guess. Okay. We are going to make ourselves the Cobblestone Generator. And as you can see, it's freaking out right now because it wants to use those. But down here's the recipe we're looking for, I guess. Yep, where it's using the clay buckets. Cobblestone Generator, and then we have a mission involving the Cobblestone Generator, which is, if we take a look at our achievement book, to craft or create a Cobblestone Generator and fill all of the slots in a vanilla chest. Open the chest to complete the advancement. That's pretty passive. We can just set that there, right-click this on top, and then over time, it'll very slowly fill up. This is going to take a while. I think we could help it by manually putting in cobblestone, but I don't know. It'll fill up eventually, and that's probably one of the easier advancements to complete on our own. Next up, we must choose. Do we want to go with the Cottonwood Sapling, or do we want to go with the Sand Sapling? Now, sand is in short supply, so let's go with that one. A Sand Sapling is going to require that we get some sand acorns, And a petrified sapling, well, sand acorns can be acquired by putting gravel acorns into a crushing tub. Simple enough, but that doesn't mean I need to farm the gravel tree, because I don't think I've done that. I do have a chest down here with 5 gravel acorns. Not too far off. Alright, so we've got 8 of these. We'll throw them into the crushing tub and begin jumping. And then I think we had to put these around a petrified sapling. I should have one of those in my inventory. If I don't, I'm going to be embarrassed, because I don't. Oh no, my cheeks are flushing red. I'm feeling very self-conscious about all of this all of a sudden. What am I even doing with my life? Sand sapling, easy. While we're here, Cottonwood Sapling? What goes into that? Probably something very similar. Okay, so we've got a couple of different options. If we had a jungle sapling, we could get the jungle sapling, bone meal, and vines, create a cottonwood sapling. We don't have a junglewood sapling, though. However, it's still requiring a jungle sapling and cottonwood acorns. Cottonwood acorns can be apparently collected from a cottonwood tree. This seems like rather circular logic, doesn't it? So we're going to have to go with this, but how do I get a vine? Oh, okay, a jungle sapling. Well, how do I get a jungle sapling? Clay sapling in a cauldron. An empty one at that, it says, but I'm assuming it's probably going to need water in it, maybe. Or we could build a market, but we don't have an emerald. Alright, well, this seems to be the most straightforward, and we do have some clay saplings to spare, so what do we do? Probably not throw them in that cauldron. That cauldron is currently being used for something else. We will make a different cauldron. We'll put it a little bit further away from that one so it doesn't catch fire, and we will put a single clay sapling in there. Nothing is happening. Geez, I guess it wants water. We could manufacture some water, or we could just run over here and get some out of this pool that Lucky Lou set up for us. That seems to be the more sensible option. Why would we go through all of the effort? I mean, again, if you're in a sky block, I realize you won't have access to a pool, but also if you're in a sky block, you should have used that first bucket of water, maybe made a couple buckets of water and made an infinite water source. That would have been a good idea. Like, don't ever consider this to be a tutorial, because I'm terrible at teaching people things. This is just us learning together. So there we go, a bit of water. What am I doing wrong? Clay sapling. Mud. Oh. Okay, no, that's easy. That's easy. We just need a single piece of dirt. So we got a single piece of dirt using dirt resin and dirt acorns. We then put that in a cauldron full of water. That'll create mud, and then we right-click our clay sapling into the mud, and it'll give us a jungle sapling. And then we have a bit of mud left over, but we'll hold on to that for now. Well, hold on. No, we can't, because we have to put this one up on a drying rack to get vines, which means we're going to need to make at least one more. So we'll grab another clay sapling. I'm not sure if we're going to need to put other things in the mud. How long is this going to take? That's 32%. Okay, let's plant a jungle sapling, and then we'll grow the jungle sapling. And then when the jungle sapling is harvested, it should drop more saplings, as well as some jungle wood, and maybe you'll even have vines on it. I don't know if they grow with vines, though. I don't think that's a thing that happens by default. Are you not going to grow? It might be because... Oh, no, there you go. Good on you. So we'll harvest that. Yeah, we got 12 saplings out of the deal. That's pretty good. So we'll have some of those to spare later on. Also gives us access to some jungle wood if we want to build with that. And then this is done. So we've got the vine that we needed. Now we can finally, hopefully, theoretically, get bone meal. We have 3 options for bone meal right now. We could put gravel into a cauldron. I believe last time what we did was we put dirt into a crushing tub. Or, some of you may remember, the advancement last episode where we made a bone sapling. Yeah, that is probably going to be our easiest bet for getting bone meal. Look, it even drops bone meal out of the leaves. And I think you can use the acorns and the bone resin to create more bones. Yeah, you can make a bone block. Now, depending on what you need, you actually have a couple of different recipes you can go with. You can use this recipe here using 5 bone resin and 4 bone acorns, and that'll give you a bone block. And the bone block can then be broken down into 9 bone meal. But if you need actual bones, you can use this inverted recipe, which has 5 acorns instead of 4, and 4 resin instead of 5, and that'll give you bone amber. Bone amber can then be broken down into 3 bones, which can also be broken down into bone meal later. But if you need bones for any particular reason, not bone meal, you could do that. We don't need bones, we need bone meal. So let's create a bone block, create some bone meal, and then at long last make ourselves a... Where are the vines? Oh, I must have thrown them in his chest. I was trying to clean out the inventory a few minutes ago. There we go. All right. Finally make ourselves a Cottonwood Sapling. How about that? So now we need to we need to harvest the tree to get string, which we just did. And you can turn that string into white wool. And we're going to need quite a bit of it because the next quest after that is going to be to get a bed. From there, we're going to move on to making some tin and some coal. We're making really good headway this episode. So in addition to getting string from the cottonwood trees, you will also get cottonwood resin, which can be combined with string to create paper, or you can make a cottonwood amber. Cottonwood amber can be used in a squeezer to get a white wool, but we don't have a squeezer, a mechanical squeezer, a crusher, or a manufactory at our disposal at the moment, nor do we have a cable anchor to create facades, so there's no reason to make any of that. What we do have is, finally, enough materials to make a bed, although I don't see that being very useful, as it never seems to get dark here. Which is unfortunate, because the game really wants me to take a nap. Oh no, it did it, good! And my new spawn point has been saved, even though it didn't get dark. That's nice. Next up, what do we go with? Tin, or do we go with coal? Let's take a look at what these are going to require. I say we go with coal. So we'll take a look at the coal sapling down here, which is going to need a birch sapling that's been charred in a smeltery. Okay. Birch sapling can be acquired by putting a sand sapling into some water. Not mud, mind you, water. I have mud left over, though, so is there anything else we can do with that mud? Is there any other recipes that require mud? What about the tin sapling? What do we have to do for that? I think you have to create tin amber to get the tin sapling. So let's actually look up tin amber and see what goes into there. It's going to require a combination of bone, clay, and flint. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's hover over that and press A, and that'll add it over here. And then we will look up that coal recipe again for the coal tree. We'll do the same. We'll just pop A. It'll put both of those there. And now we can keep track of them without having to search for them. Now, how do I empty mud out of here? Do I just right-click it with an empty hand? Left-click it with an empty hand? I can't figure out how to banish objects besides breaking it. If you know, comment down below and do share. I think it would have been wise earlier if I had created an infinite water source up here, you know, like I talked about, but I didn't, so I'll have to go get some more. Alright, so we'll put a bit of water in there, and then to the water, we're going to need to add a sand sapling. Now, we've only got one sand sapling because I haven't bothered growing any additional ones because... I mean, I know I joked earlier that sand is a scarce resource that we need to treasure, and but it's not. We're living in a desert. There we go. We should have some more after that. In fact, we've got 6, so we will put hopefully just 1 in there, and that will give us our birch sapling. Let's go ahead and do 2, because you never know. You might want a birch sapling for something else down the road. But then we need to char that birch sapling in here, so we'll plop that in, and from there, that'll give us our coal sapling. That's 1 job complete. While that's cooking up, tin amber seems to be... Let's just see what we're missing from our inventory to make this happen. A number of things. We're going to need gravel, bone, clay. It seems the only thing we do have is bone resin, but not even enough. And then we need to get some flint. Flint is going to be 3 gravel. That'll give us a single flint. And we can get gravel from our gravel sapling. But there we go. We've got our coal sapling all cooked up. And we'll place it over here in the area that's currently being used by the sand sapling, because we don't need to grow that, because it's not a rare resource. You know what is a rare resource, though, is food. My gosh, we've got a bit of jerky. I've got an apple, and then I've got, what, a cooked-up dirt acorn? Ah, gosh, I hope this isn't what our food has become. I do have the apple sapling planted over here. It's just not growing, and when I twerk next to it, nothing happens. All of my twerk goes somewhere else, I guess. So now that we've got the coal sapling, I'm going to press A to dismiss it, and then we need to make some gravel. So, got the recipe over here, and we're going to see how much we can make. Oh, well, we can make exactly 3. I'm probably going to have to go harvest some more, but that'll give us our single flint. And then how are we doing on this recipe? What are we missing now? Okay, we're only missing bone resin. Well, I can get that from cutting down another bone tree. Is that what this is? This is cottonwood. I believe that's clay. That one down there at the end. Do we not have a bone tree planted at the moment? Probably not. Do we have any bone saplings on us? Yes. This is the problem when you're dealing with such a limited amount of dirt to work with. I should have made more dirt before starting the episode. I thought that I had plenty for what we were going to do today, but I was wrong. Hey, but you know what? We're really, really quickly approaching the time in which we will have a bonsais, hopping bonsais, and then we won't need to plant them in, well, we'll need dirt for the hopping bonsais, but all of this will be a lot quicker after that. Much more streamlined. All right, that should do it. Yes, we've got our 10 amber. How about that? We're all out of space in here, though. Now, what are we going to do with that 10, you may be wondering? Well, if you were thinking, oh, Rees, it's just as easy as cooking it up, and use coal, acorns, and resin, craft a piece of coal. We still have to do that, and we still have to make a 10 sapling. Let's go ahead and make sure that coal tree is planted. It is. There it is. So I'll harvest that in a second. But if we take a look in our advancement book here, it says that we have to pour molten tin over a birch sapling to make a tin sapling. Now, how do we go about doing that? Sounds easy, doesn't it? It's not as easy as it sounds. For that, we're going to need to go to our Age of Enhancements and take a look at the melter. The melter is going to be what we need to melt down these ambers, and it's not all that much of a challenge to create, particularly the porcelain melter. Just requires that we get porcelain bricks and some glass. Porcelain bricks is just a combination of bone meal and clay, two things that we can harvest from trees, so that will be pretty quick. And then on top of that, we need to put a tank, which is glass and some more of these porcelain bricks. But I think that that is all going to be a quest for next time. We've been recording for a while now, and I know I said we were going to wrap all of this up, but we're not too far off. And I think that next episode, when we get into melting, that means we're going to be able to really steamroll through here. We're definitely next episode going to get iron and hopefully hopping bonsais, because that'll speed things up quite a bit. Tell you what I'm going to do between now and next time, though. I'm going to harvest a lot of bone and a lot of clay, and we'll have all of that ready. In fact, I might harvest a bunch of resources, make some new chests, and maybe you'll be surprised when we come back what I've gotten accomplished. Until then, thank you folks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Bye!